Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 30th of March. So let's have a look at the markets this morning. In fact, before we do that, just look at the risk factors coming out in terms of fundamental news. There's not a lot. It's all very low-key data out there. There's this, maybe in the afternoon, 3 p.m. we've got the US consumer confidence. That hasn't really moved the markets for absolutely ages, so I'm not expecting any significant moves coming from this sort of very, as I say, very low key data that's coming out today. So we will stick with the technicals then on that basis. Let's have a look at the euro. The euro's continue to sell off. It's broken its lows from yesterday already. It had at one stage been popping in these sort of double bottoms, etc., but it's as I say, it's broken down from here, looking softer. Run off towards its S2 on the dailies there today already, so quite a sell-off this morning. This is dollar strength coming through the markets. If we look at the pound, sorry, I should say on that euro, there's nothing for me at the moment in terms of looking for trades on it. Looking at the pound, well, the pound is holding up this morning better. It hasn't broken its lows. It had a decent run up yesterday. It broke the trend line and drew on there in the morning, and but it then came back later on. It sold off, had a bit of divergence at the highs there, and that was that. So real up and down day yesterday for the pound, giving up its gains as it sits at the moment, holding on to where it is. I'm just looking in terms of technically here, coming out the time frame's a little bit backwards, but you can see that shooting star on the dailies back into its previous trend line. I'd left that on purpose. It run into that, the 50, the 21, and well, at the moment it does look like it could roll over some more. We could see a further downside on the pound, so just watching that this morning to see if it starts breaking down a bit more. But as I say, it does look soft there. So that's the pound. Dollar yen, well, it's pushing up and up here. It's just reaching the sort of 110 area. This is I've had a position in this for ages now. It's sort of not a million miles away from target on that now. It really has just pushed up. Trying to get into a trade on it, I think, might be difficult because it's moved so far this morning already, and pushing up, well, as I say, right into the 110.20 area. So really pushed up there on that move. Nothing to be done probably for today. Buy on retraces is a possibility on that. Aussie dollar, well, the Aussie dollar held on yesterday, neutral day, doji, but pushed up a little bit further today. These commodity currencies were sort of holding their own in a sense, but I wonder if this is going to roll back a little bit. The strength in that US dollar at the moment seems pretty strong. Maybe on the Aussie dollar here, it starts breaking through the 50 MA, it becomes a bit more of a sell, but it is holding on, and the more it holds on here, well, I'll just leave that if necessary. But as I say, if it starts breaking down, then it might just trigger a trade for me. Canadian dollars. It's funny how one Canadian dollar on a daily basis here, it's sort of dancing around. It's in a range. Again, it's one of those. It's not moving very much. It's a bit like the Aussie there. It's quite range bound, and well, again. Here I was looking yesterday to see if it broke that trend line. Well, that trend line really still pretty much is in play. It's just extend it out there. There we go, and that has been tapped overnight. Then that sort of range. So it may be the sort of line in the sand of it, but you can just see how choppy it is. Well, I say choppy, sideward price action it's sitting at the moment. As I said, maybe if it breaks that, there's potential. There's a bigger potential down to its weekly pivot even. That's the Canadian dollar. Okay, side of that, euro yen. I've been in trades on this. It's from a daily point of view, pushed up a bit again this morning, broke up through the highs there, hit a couple of targets there. It's a tough old one here because the euro is so weak, but it's not holding up too badly against the yen here, but it's more yen weakness, it's seen the euro rise, then the euro strength in effect. If we look across some of the other pairings, let's just look at the euro pound for example, and well, even though the pound yesterday gave back, it's now sort of saw the euro bounce in the afternoon there. It's now rolling back over again, and the bigger trend on this euro pound still seems to be to the downside for sure on the dailies. Okay, not much there to be done this morning as I'm looking at it at the moment. It might change. The futures US E-minis here yesterday, well, hanging around the highs, and it doesn't seem to be too much that's going to hold it back at the moment. Strong dollar, weak dollar, any dollar. The equity markets are still managing, even with funds crashing and failing. We're still seeing this S&P's holding up there. So there we are. Maybe later we'll get a break. There's a trend line across the highs there. Maybe get a break of that trend line and yet more new highs. So we'll see how that runs there. But it's just so close to making new highs all the time, the S&Ps. Gold had a bit of a stinky yesterday afternoon when I looked at it, and we're seeing this sort of continuation now. You see how it broke down. It finally broke out of that really tight range, and it's really just continuing to move south again. Retracements maybe order the day in terms of trying to get into anything on this, but it has shown some signs of divergence back at 3 o'clock in the morning there, but it's now sort of run through that, and it's just running that off. So it's the downside seems to be the direction for gold at the moment. Oil's holding up a bit more. Got meetings this week. There's probably a lot of hope that something's going to come of those meetings, but I still wonder if we'll see a further downside. But at the moment, very, very choppy, sitting there quite range bound between those prior highs there and the prior lows. So that's where it sits. It's trend break is really what I'm looking for now. So it's as I say, looking quite soft there. Okay, quite soft, quite strong still, beg your pardon. It's soft if it breaks that trend line. Right, that's pretty much it for me this morning. Oh, Bitcoin, you want to see? Let's just check on Bitcoin now. There we go. So I've got a gap for some reason that's appeared. Maybe that was a weekend gap. Yeah, it must be. Okay, it says okay, so there is a gap below, but Bitcoin seems to be helped by Visa commenting yesterday that cryptocurrencies would be accepted, and it's we're seeing the reaction of that at the moment. There's no point really coming down below the dailies, but we're seeing that sort of reaction. We could see the momentum push this through to those prior highs there, and maybe even further. So looking bullish for many of the cryptos at the moment. I'm just having a quick look. Ethereum had a good day up yesterday, gaining 116 cents in the end there. Ripple continuing to push up there as well, another 20 or 30 cents up. So a lot of these cryptos are really gaining from this movement. The key gainer, I'm told, would be possibly Ethereum with this Visa situation, but there we go. That's where we are at the moment. I wish you a great day. There's nothing else more here. Have a great one, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Bye for now.